Continue reading Brahma Samhita 560. Yasya shreyas karam nasti yaya nirvitam apnuyat ya sadhayati mameva bhaktim tam eva sadhayat. These preliminary practices of devotion, sadhana bhakti, are conducive to the realization of loving devotion. Loving devotion, then, whom there is no superior well-being, who goes hand in hand with the attainment of the exclusive state of supreme bliss, and who can lead to myself. The jiva soul has no better well-being than loving devotion. In this is realized the final beatitude of jivas. The lotus feet of Krishna are attainable only by loving devotion. He who cultivates the preliminary devotional activities, anxiously keeping in view that realized state of devotion, can alone attain to that object of all endeavor. None else can have the same. Dharman anyan parityaja mam ekam bhaja vishwasan yadrisi shadha siddhir bhavati tadrishi kurvan nirantaram karma loko ayam anuvartati tenaiva karmana dhyayan mam param bhaktim ichchati. Abandoning all meritorious performances, serve me with faith. The realization will correspond to the nature of one's faith. The people of the world act ceaselessly in pursuance of some ideal. By meditating on me by means of those deeds, one will obtain devotion characterized by love in the shape of the supreme service. The function characterized by unalloyed devotion is the real function of all individual souls, jivas. All other varieties of function are activities of the external cases. These exoteric and esoteric dharmas functions are manifold. Example: non-differentiated knowledge of the Brahman aiming at extinction of individuality, the Ashtanga Yoga Dharma having as its goal attainment of the state of exclusive existence, Kaivalya. Atheistical, fruitive, ritualistic aiming at material enjoyment, Gyan Yoga Dharma, seeking to combine knowledge with fruitive activity and the practice of the function of barren asceticism. Getting rid of all these, save me by pure devotion rooted in faith. Exclusive faith in me is trust. Faith in the form of trust by the process of gradual purification tends to become a constant engagement, nishtha, an object of liking, ruchi, of attachment, asakti, and a real sentiment, bhava. The more transparent the faith, the greater the degree of realization. If you ask how will the preservation and conduct of worldly affairs be feasible if one is continuously engaged in the endeavor for the realization of bhakti? What also will be the nature of the endeavor for the realization of bhakti when the body will perish consequent on the cessation of the function of the body and of society? In order to strike at the root of this misgiving, the Supreme Lord says, this world subsists by the constant performance of certain activities. Fill all these activities with meditation of me. This will destroy the quality that makes those activities appear acts done by you. They will then be of the nature of my service bhakti. Mankind live by the threefold activities of body, mind and society: eating, sitting, walking, resting, sleeping, cleansing the body, covering the body, etc. are the various bodily activities. Thinking, recollecting, retaining an impression, becoming aware of an entity, feeling pleasure and pain, etc. are the mental feats. Marrying, practicing reciprocal relationship between the king and subject, practicing brotherhood, attending at sacrificial meetings, offering oblations, digging wells, tanks, etc., for the benefit of the people, maintaining one's relations, practicing hospitality, observing proper civic conduct, showing due respect to others are the various social activities. When these acts are performed for one's selfish enjoyment, they are called karma kanda. When the desire for attainment of freedom from activity by knowledge underlies these actions, they are termed jnana yoga or karma yoga. And when these activities are managed to be performed in this way that is conducive to an endeavor for attainment of bhakti, they are called Jnana Bhakti Yoga, i.e., the subsidiary devotional practices, but only those activities that are characterized by the principle of pure worship are called Bhakti proper. My meditation is practiced in every act when Bhakti proper is practiced in due time while performing the subsidiary devotional activities in one's intercourse with the ungodly people of this world. In such position, a jiva does not become apathetic to Godhead. And even by performing those godly activities, this constitutes the practice of looking inwards, i.e., turning towards one's real self-wide. Isopanishad isavasyam idam sarvam yat kinchi jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita ma gridha kasya viddanam. The commentator says in tyaktena, being that if whatever is accepted be received as favor vouchsafed by the Supreme Lord, the worldly activities will cease to be such and will turn into service of Godhead, bhakti. So Isavasya says, Kurvan eva karmani karma lipyate nara. If the worldly acts are performed in the above manner, one does not get entangled in karma even in hundreds of years of worldly life. The meaning of these two mantras from the Gyan point of view is renouncement of the fruits of one's worldly actions, but from the Bhakti point of view they mean the attainment of Krishna's favor, prasadam, by their transfer to his account. In this method, which is the path of archana, you should do your duties of the world by the meditation of worshipping Godhead. Thereby, Brahma cherishes the desire for creation in his heart. If that creative desire is practiced by conjoining the same with the meditation of obeying therein the command of the Supreme Lord, then it will be subsidiary spiritual function, Gauna Dharma, being helpful for the growth of the disposition for the service of the divinity by reason of its characteristics of seeking the protection of Godhead. It was certainly proper to instruct Brahma in this manner. There is no occasion for such instruction in the case of a jiva in whom the spontaneous aversion for entities other than Krishna manifests itself on his attainment of the substantive entity of his spiritual bhava. Aham hi vishwasya chara charasya bijam pradhanam prakriti pumamscha maya hitam teja idam vibashri vidhe videhi tvam atho jaganti. Listen, O Vidhi, I am the seed, i.e., the fundamental principle of this world of animate and inanimate objects. I am Pradhan, the substance of matter. I am Prakriti, material cause, and I am Purusa, efficient cause. This fiery energy that belongs especially to the Brahman, that inheres in you, has also been conferred by me. It is by bearing this fiery energy that you regulate this phenomenal world of animate and inanimate objects. Certain thinkers conclude that the non-differentiated Brahman is the ultimate entity, and by undergoing self-delusion, Vivarta exhibits the consciousness of differentiation, or the limiting principle itself Maya. When it is limited, is the phenomenal world, and it itself the Brahman. In its unlimited position, the Brahman is the substance, and this phenomenal world is the reflection, everything is an illusion of the Jiva. Some think that Godhead is evidently a separate entity. Jiva is another different entity, and the phenomenal world, although it is a singular principle, exists separately as an eternally independent entity, or Godhead, is the substantive entity, and all other entities as Chit and Achit attributes are one in principle. Some suppose that by the force of inconceivable potency, sometimes the monistic and sometimes the dualistic principle is realized as the truth. Some again arrive at the conclusion that the theory of the non-dual minus all potency is meaningless, whence the Brahman is the one eternally unalloyed entity vested with the pure potency. These speculations have originated from Veda, relying on the support of the Vedanta Sutra. In these speculations, although there is no truth that holds good in all positions, there is yet a certain measure of truth, not to speak of the anti-Vedic speculation Sankhya, Patanjali, Nyayana, and Vaisesika, nor even Purva Mimamsa, which is fond of exclusive, fruitive activity in conformity with the teaching of one portion of the Veda. The bodies of opinions detailed above have also come into existence by relying outwardly on the Vedanta itself. By discarding all these speculations, you and your bona fide community should adopt the ultimate principle identical with the doctrine of Achinta Veda Veda, inconceivable simultaneous distinction and non-difference. This will make you eligible for being a true devotee. The basic principle is that this animate world is made up of jivas and the inanimate world is constituted of matter. Of these, all the jivas have been manifested by my supreme parapotency, and this phenomenal world has been manifested by my secondary aparapotency. I am the cause of all causes. In other words, I regulate all of them by the power of my will, although I am not a different entity. From the marginal and material Tathastha and Achit potencies, by the transformation of those distinctive potencies, Pradhan, substantive material principle, Prakriti, material cause, and Purusha, efficient cause, have been produced. Hence, although as regard the subjective nature of all potency, I am Pradhan, Prakriti and Purusha, yet as the possessor of power, I am eternally distinct from all those potencies. These simultaneous distinction and non-difference has also sprung from my inconceivable power. So let the attainment of love for Krishna by the practice of pure devotion through the knowledge of their nature, knowledge of their mutual true relationship that subsists between the jiva, the jada, matter, and Krishna, based on the principle of inconceivable simultaneous distinction and non-difference, be my instruction for being handed down in the order of spiritual preceptional succession in your community, Sri Brahma Sampradaya. Sri Brahma Samhita ki